Hey guys, and welcome back to the Chaotic Kids channel, where I, Michelle, document my life here on YouTube as I try to become a full-time author. We're also traversing the world's multiple personalities. If that sounds interesting to you, stick around. But today we are going to be working on Chapter 17 of JJ's story, which is my YA Christian Contemporary Coming-of-Age storyline novel where my main character has some sort of dissociative disorder. I'm pretty sure I'm more playing it off in the dissociative identity disorder. I don't know exactly because I'm not qualified to diagnose, but that's kind of what I'm more leaning towards. But yeah, so let's get into it. Hey guys, today is December 15th. It is a Monday. So the last 3 days I haven't actually done any writing. Okay, that's a lie. On Sunday I did do some journaling words, but honestly I haven't really done much writing, which has actually been really nice. Just getting to have a couple days off, just like relaxing, not like thinking like creatively like how the story flows and stuff. Just getting to just relax. That was honestly really nice. Yeah, and then yesterday I had our family Christmas. Well, I didn't have it. But we had our family Christmas, like my immediate family's Christmas. It was super nice. It was nice to see the kids get their Christmas gifts from me and my dad. Well, okay. I say from me and dad, it was really like I put dad's name on the presents just so then like they don't feel like grandpa's leaving them out kind of thing. And like that's honestly how it was a good portion of our childhood, like you got the mom and dad presents. But really we all knew it was from mom while dad helped pay for it kind of thing. Like dad didn't know what you got. Unless well, there were a few times wherever dad would give gifts. Dad would give gifts. But those were still gifts from mom that she would put dad's name on. But they were like materials, like, well, house materials, so like tools and stuff like that. It's always just funny. I do miss Christmas with my mom because she gave the best gifts. Sometimes there was other times where you're just like you got clothes and you're like, yay, clothes. But they're also like necessities, like clothes, like socks, because like I hate buying socks. But she'd also give me like all these festive socks, and like right now all my socks are white. Just because I'm like I don't like I love the holidays, so I used to love them as a child, but now that I'm older and since mom passed away, I'm like I don't like holidays. It hurts my soul. Which is unfortunate because I wish I could get back into the festive holiday spirit. Like, you see the garland up there and the few things back there, but, like, I feel like that's a necessity because otherwise everything would look the same all the time. But yeah, holidays suck anymore. And my sister and I, like, we've kind of came to the realization, like, we're probably down to the last few Christmases with our dad and also with our grandma. Because they're both in their 70s, which, like, we say that, and, like, yes, they could live till be 90 and stuff, but honestly, like, the people in our family, well, not necessarily the people in our family that live to 90 were, like, bad, it's just, we don't, like, we want to remember the good times where, like, they're feeling good, because there will be a time if they go into the nursing home and stuff, where, like, we feel like if our dad goes in the nursing home, like, he's going to be a little terror. Like, he is going to be a little terror, and there's, like, he won't have any joy to him. And we're like, that's not what we want. And, like, it just wouldn't feel right. So, we're just kind of preparing for the inevitable. And honestly, this is a conversation that I hate having because, I'm only 25, and I'm like, it's so weird to think, like, I could be 30, which 30, I think it's possible it could happen. Like, I don't know. Well, anyone can die at any time, but I'm just thinking old people because, I feel like old people should die first. I say old people, they're older than me, and in their 70s, you know? And I'm like, they should hopefully go before us. And I'm just like, I don't want to see that. And like, especially losing my mom at like 57, 58, like, that was a complete shock to our family. And I'm like, if we have dad just randomly die one day, I'm like, ugh, that would suck. And like, everything that would happen afterwards would just suck because like, I usually go see my dad probably 3 times a week. And like not getting to see him will be like, what do I do now kind of thing. And then whenever grandma dies, it'll be the same thing. Like I'll just be like, what do I do? Like, who do I go play cards with every day just to, well, not every day, but like, who do I go play cards with to just pass the time away? Who do I get to work on random book projects with, or do random Christmas gifts for my aunts and uncles and stuff? I also have an idea for a Christmas gift for my grandma. Basically, it's going to be a book of all of like her grandkids and her kids and like the great grandkids, like happy memories they have with grandma kind of thing. Yeah, and it'll just be a nice book to do for her. And I'm like, she needs to live at least till Christmas next year. And I'm like, I shouldn't have like deadlines for people who I love who die, like who are getting older, but like, I'm like, you have to make it till Christmas next year. I'm not gonna have this book and it's not like for you and you die. I'm sorry. I go down dark rabbit holes a lot. I think it's because of my anxiety and my depression. Yeah, it's a hard fact. And especially considering, like, I was thinking, like, I see so many people be like, oh, I'm 27 and haven't had my first, like, real death. Like, real big monumental death in the family. And I'm like, I envy those people so much. I've had someone die in my life. The youngest I had someone die that I actually, like, remember, I was probably, I think, 7, and that was my uncle. And then there was another one at 9. Then there were 2 at 15. Then there was one at 19, 21, 22, 24, no, 23, 24. I haven't had one this year. But yeah, there's just been a lot of deaths in my family. I'm like, I envy those people who haven't had a death so much because, like, I wish I had that. And, like, even growing up, like, I grew up kind of on a farm. We had a horse when I was born. We had chickens and stuff. And we had barnyard cats. Like, we had all these animals, and, like, the chickens would die all the time, which I probably didn't have too much of a problem with because I hated chickens. Just because, like, I remember sometimes, like, during this school year and stuff, whenever it was time for summer break and stuff, I would be outside because I loved being outside, and we had this old car that never ran, and I would be outside just doing random stuff, and my dad would open up the chickens' gates, and, like, the chickens would flood out into the world, and I would crawl up on this car and cry because I'm like, the chickens are gonna get me. And the reason for that is because my brother, he actually was attacked by a chicken and has a scar running down his eye, well, under his eye. And I'm just like, I don't like chickens. And my sister has the same fear, and she actually has chickens, so it's just so black. It's just so funny. What was I saying? I don't know. I've just had death so often in my family, and like, even like cats. I've had cats because we also live next to a highway. Like, there'd be kittens that I loved that would die because of random animals or because they would wander out onto the highway. And like, I've just had death everywhere, and it's just like, I'm done with deaths. Yeah, so I will just say this, like, if you have family members, I hope you have family members at least. But if you are in communication with your family members, tell them how much you love them. And, like, just enjoy those happy moments with them. Because there will be times, like, they won't be there. And then you have to deal with, like, hard things on your own. Or, like, for me, with my mom, like, I discovered so much about myself after she's passed away. And it's just like, I want her, I could talk to her again. I'd be like, I want you to know that I don't necessarily resent you, even though, like, resentment probably wasn't ever on my mind, but, like, because I grew up and, like, with dissociative identity disorder or OSDD, like, it's a trauma based disorder. Like, it's a trauma based, um, I don't know how else to describe it. It's trauma based. And I'm like, I never viewed what my parents did to me as trauma. Like, there are a few things, yes, like, they could have been more traumatic, but I just viewed it as everyday life. Like, there was no, like, I don't resent them for how they raised me. And even the people that bullied me, like, I wouldn't necessarily say that like, they bullied me, but I was like, that was never traumatic. Like, I felt as if it was a rite of passage. And maybe that's just my sick, twisted way of being like, I had a perfect childhood. I don't know. But it's just so. I would just tell them that I would tell mom that I'm like, I don't resent you. I still love you. You are my mother. I would never think, like, you did something wrong. Even though, like, there are moments in my head that I'm like, did this happen because this and this and this? And I'm like, no. At the end of the day, it didn't matter because mom loved me. And, like, yeah, there were things, but no one's life is perfect, kind of thing, you know? But yeah, so if you have your family members still around, give them a hug. Even if they don't like hugs, just be like, I'm coming in for a hug. And, like, I'm someone who doesn't like hugs. But I'm like, I'm gonna give you a hug now. And then they're like, they look at me and they're like, are you okay? But I give them a hug and I'm like, I just love you. So it's just nice. I'm gonna take a little bit of a break because this is an 11-minute clip. But I will be back and we will get back into more what we're doing today. Okay, sorry about that long clip earlier. We are in a much better space right now. But today we are working on chapter 17 of JJ's story. Background information: JJ is our YA Christian contemporary coming of age storyline. This is our hopefully debut novel under the Grace Kitts pen name. Grace, I talk about Grace as if she is her own person because she is her own person in our system. I am somebody who has some sort of dissociative disorder resulting in me having multiple alters. Not JJ. Grace is one of them. She is a Christian Catholic author. The reason she wants to be traditionally published is mostly to get her picture books out there in the world. And she honestly would like to make her business more of a ministry rather than, like, our own profits, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's something that's interesting about Grace. But so our first novel is JJ's story. JJ stands for Julian John, which is actually our grandpa's name. And a lot of our characters have names that, like, associate kind of with someone in our family. Julian is just the one that we're starting with. His name is the inspiration. Like, the name is the name is the only thing that we take away from our grandpa. There is no other connection between him. But yeah, so there's a lot of interesting things that's happening to JJ. He just started his first day of school in a Catholic school after being homeschooled for the whole beginning and part of his life, mostly because his grandpa wants to get back into his life, and his grandpa is the Catholic priest of the school that he is going to. And basically, JJ we discover as the author, as the reader, that JJ is a system after chapter 12, which I think I need to shorten up the beginning parts of the book. I'm just waiting for my editor to get back with me from it. But so, we're on Act 2. JJ just learned that JJ didn't learn, but we as the reader learn that JJ is a system as one of his darker prosecutor alters takes over control and is running the ship while everyone else in his system, which I think I have like a system of like 8 members, I think, trying to get the old JJ back into commission and working on getting better, if that makes sense. And so that's the whole concept of it, basically. Well, I don't say basically. That's just all that we have right now. Right currently, I don't know how much to give away, but I'm also like, this is my book. I can tell how much I want, and like, I feel like if you guys are interested, so I'm just gonna kind of tell it. But right now we're working with JJ and a little. A little is basically like, I like to say children alters, but they're not really children. They're just alters who are younger. So I would say I can't really say from a range, but like I feel like most alters. Okay, I watch a lot of DID's content to understand to understand DID content, but also for myself and for this book, just kind of get an idea on other people's life with it, kind of thing. But this one is much more of an interspectral thing. Like a lot of stuff is happening in the back of the headspace, while nothing's really happening in the front. Or like there is stuff happening in the front, but you can almost get an idea what's happening in the front just based on who the character that's controlling it is. But so right now, JJ is in the back of the headspace, starting to learn about him as a system. Last chapter, he literally learned that he was not alone. And yeah, and this one we are having a little alter, I think, have a discussion with him. Like, this is going to be marking, like, JJ's fully discovering what's going on and how he was never alone, kind of thing, I think. But yeah, so we are at a grand total currently of 45,813 words, sorry. And we have this kind of formatted in a Word doc. We typically write in Word docs. Word document. Word docs, yeah. Word documents. I don't know. But we typically work in Word, where we've got it formatted for like 200 pages long, which sounds ridiculous. But at the same point, we're like, this is going to be a long book because, like, it's not going to be an easy topic to discuss. Like, if you're talking about dissociative identity disorder and really trying to show that this character has it, like, it's not going to be an easy process kind of thing, you know? So yeah, this is going to be a big book. And I think I told you guys, like, I think the beginning part needs to be tightened up a little bit. But at the same point, I like it too, so I don't know. But yeah, we're on chapter 17. 4,000, over 45,000 words long. We'll probably get 46,000 words today. Even though right now it's like 10 o'clock and I'm like, I kind of don't want to write now. Just because I've been having long recording sessions. But yeah, so we'll get started writing. We're watching some YouTube videos. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. I will see you guys when I update you guys. Bye! Guys, it is lunchtime for me, so I am going to take a little break, and then I'll also go see my grandma. But so today I worked on chapter 16. I reworked the ending, got all that done. I added 412 words to that. Then I did two 30-minute sprints, working on chapter 17. I think I got it done. It is 1,486 words long. Maybe after I come back from grandma's house, I will work on it some more. But I've written over 1,800 words today, which is about on par, so I'm not going to push myself. But yeah, so it was a really good day. I'll see you guys later, okay? Bye! Hey guys, so it's about 6 o'clock right now. I did do a writing sprint. Well, I did a couple of writing sprints after I got back home from grandma's, and seeing my dad. Not much I don't say much, like, nothing really interesting happened from our time with grandma and dad. It was just fun hanging out with him. I played cards with grandma. We play Skip-Bo whenever I play cards with grandma. And I won all 3 games of Skip-Bo. And it's always so fascinating how, like, if there's only me and her playing, I will win, like, 95% of the time. But yet, if there's a third person playing, then she wins. But it's just so fascinating. And then, like, she's always like, my cards. So, like, I don't know if you guys ever play Skip-Bo, but, like, there's a stack of, like, 20 cards on one side of the field. On your side of the field that you're trying to get rid of. And you have 4 piles of cards otherwise. That's like your lay down cards. But so my cards in the stack are like always, they flow together so nicely. And then grandma's are just like, I think she had like 4 or 5 4s back to back. Oh, yeah, I think she only had 4 4s back to back. But like, still, that's ridiculous. And like, we had been drawing 4s beforehand. So it was just like, why are there so many 4s right now? But it's honestly just how the cards are shuffled. It's not like I'm stacking the deck in my favor. Yeah, it was so interesting and stuff. But once I got back home, I did 3 writing sprints. I added 1,006 words to the story. This was me rereading what I had previously written and tweaking it a little bit. And honestly, I think chapter 17 is done. I wrote a grand total of 22,904 words today. That was the 412 words that I added to chapter 16 and redid it. Then the other 20. I'm doing math real quick in my head. The other 2,492 words that I wrote for the chapter. So it's all relatively good. I don't know what page we're on, but it seemed really good. And I was just wondering how many words I've written so far this week, because like I do keep track in this journal of how many words I write per week and per day. Basically, it's this is how I have my setup, and I've really liked it. Like, I start on Sundays, and then I have the 6 days, and then Saturdays on the back page. And then after this week and Saturday's done, then I will have like a reflection of how many words. And based on how many words I've written the previous 2 weeks, I'm already written 20,852 words this month alone, and it's only the 15th. And I'm just like, let's go. Like, and that's having 4 days of non-writing. Yeah, 4 days of non-writing. Well, okay, 3 days technically, since I did work on Sunday. But like, those were journaling words, so I don't really count them. But like, I had a pretty relatively good week, and like last week I didn't really journal that much. So yeah, I'm feeling really good. Did I tell you the word count that I reached at the end of chapter 17, which was 48,717 words. We are coming in to 50,000 words. And I've pretty much, I'm pretty sure I've written over 30,000 words in this document since November 1st. And I'm like, that is bananas to me, because I'm like, my goal, I'm just trying to write and finish and get done with JJ's story. So then I can hopefully get that sent to a Catholic publishing house to then get that picked up. And I'm like, I feel like I can do it. And like, currently right now, I sent Act 1 to my editor, which I use a high school librarian that I knew back in high school. She's my editor, and I don't know how she feels about the first act of words, but she hasn't told me yet. But I gave her the first 34,000 words, and then after that, hopefully I'll be able to give her Act 2, which is the act I'm currently working on. And as each act gets done, I will send it off to her. And I'm just like, I'm feeling super, super good about this. Yeah, I love it. And then after I get her edits back, I have it written down somewhere. Hold on. Let me kind of give you an idea on what my game plan of publication is kind of looking like. Or like when I'm kind of going to possibly query this book. So my game plan is to work on each act, and I have 4 different acts. So Act 1, Act 2, Part 1, Act 2, Part 2, and then Act 3. I just count them 4 acts. But I roughly have them being like 12 chapters each. My game plan is to do 6 or 7 chapters per month. So December and January are for Act 2, February, March for Act 3, April, May for Act 4, and then hopefully get all the edits of the books back in August. Get the final edits done but also probably have it realistically done by October, but then also have like September and October, like send it off to beta readers and sensitivity readers, and then hopefully get some edits done, and maybe by early January, well, like late January, early February, I will be able to query it. So I am still like a year out from getting this possibly even queried and slash getting an agent and stuff. I'm not planning on getting an agent. I'm planning on just directly going to the Catholic publishing houses. But it's very possible for me to get an agent within the next 2 months. I mean, not 2 months, next 2 years. Which, granted, I would have rather had it come sooner, but at least I'm finally working on the book, and I'm actually sitting down and getting done, like working on it. The only problem is I'm thinking, like, I am taking away time from doing Bugstopia, but I can't do much with Bugstopia until I get money. So I'm like, I might as well switch gears and do this picture books. I mean, not picture books, the young adult novels for Grace. I just need to work better at time managing, like, Grace's books, Shelley's books, and eventually Maris's book all in together. I think what I need to do, so, like, I have kind of, like, my ideal day that I have, like, this is something I wrote, like, after I got laid off. But this is something that I wrote, and I was like, okay, this is what I want to do, just to have an idea on, like, my work schedule and stuff. Like, since I don't have a job anymore, I need to at least stick to a schedule. And I'm like, this schedule I have written down, I don't even follow anymore, or I don't even really stick to that schedule, because, like, I have written down that I wake up at 6. I've been waking up at 8:30, 9 o'clock. And I have going to bed at 8, which sometimes it's 8 or 9 o'clock. And I'm just like, I need to get back onto the gear of, like, I need to reschedule out my life and be like, the morning time is, like, JJ time, and then the afternoon is Shelley time. Does that make sense? Yeah, so maybe, I'm trying to think what the next video is going to be. I think maybe the next video is me going to be implementing, like, maybe, like, doing let me think here. Maybe doing, like, a new format where I'm, like, doing my ideal writing day working, or, like, starting, like, I don't know, I need to think of something, but, like, possibly starting to do more more regimented routines and following that. So yeah, I don't know, we'll either do that, or we'll just continue on with this back and forth of me doing different chapters. I don't know, but yeah, it's been a lovely day. I hope you guys will stick around for this journey. I will see you guys in the next video, where I don't know what I'll be doing. But yeah, I hope you guys have a lovely day, and I'll see you guys next time, okay? Bye!